can see by how you look, oh yes, you're feeling.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can see by this lovely sewing machine that I have, we're gonna be doing some altering. A lot of you guys have requested this video because I posted a little sweater alteration on my Insta stories and everybody was like, oh my god, which I thought was like, you know, a really simple alteration. So, and I do that to all my clothes all the time. So I thought, you know, why not make a more extensive video and show you guys the different alterations I do. So today we have some denim, some sweaters, some tops, like a lot of different clothing. So yeah, let me know if you guys like this video. Give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, let me know if you try these, tag me in your alterations. I'm so interested to see what you guys come up with, and yeah, let's get altering. So first alteration we're doing is denim, and for this certain pair of pants, just to make it look more flattering, I'm gonna make them a little cropped at the ankle. They were actually supposed to be ankle length pants, but since I am short, it didn't really work out for me like that. So as you can see, this is like a bit too long and I don't think it looks flattering at all, but when you crop it to the length you want it, I think it'll look much more flattering. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like fold both sides, make sure they're even, and I'm going to cut it through and distress it. So I'll show you how I do that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is lie your pants flat and figure out where you want to cut. So for me, I already tried the pants on and folded them over to the height I wanted them, so I have an idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to match the other side just so that they're even, and then I'm going to take my pair of scissors and cut a little nick at the end just to indicate where I should be cutting, because you're not cutting where the fold is ending, you're cutting at the bottom, if that makes sense. So once you have your nick, just unfold the pants and then cut across that nick. So when you're cutting, you don't need to be super careful about being even, because you're going to be distressing the ends anyway, but you really need to make sure that you have the length that you want, because once it's cut, you're not getting it back. So once you have your desired length, you can start distressing. The way I distress is actually really easy. I just take a pair of tweezers and I start pulling at the ends randomly until I get the amount that I want, and then after that I kind of go in with scissors and run them across jeans as well. You can even use your nails, honestly. It's really not that hard to distress because you're basically just destroying the ends. Once you are done distressing, I really recommend putting the jeans in the dryer to kind of volumize that distress, because then it'll look more professional. So here is the finished product. As you guys can see, the jeans look so much more flattering now. It actually looks like they fit me, and I'm actually really proud of how the distressing came out. It actually looks really store-bought, so really happy with how it turned out. I really recommend putting them in the dryer because your distress will look so much better. So I got these sick pair of barrel jeans from Levi's a while ago, and I love them so much, and I paid way too much for them, but as it turns out, they're actually super loose in the waist, and I don't know why I kept them. Maybe it was the silhouette that really kept me, but they're super loose in the waist, and I've done nothing about it except wear a belt, but now it's time to address the issue. So when a jean is too loose in the waist, there are multiple ways you can alter it. You can either take it in the back, or you can take it in on the sides. While usually in the past I've done it in the back, there is a situation with these jeans where they have the logos in the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start taking them in on the side. What you need to do if you want to take your pants in is, first of all, you need to turn them inside out, and then you gotta wear them. So I'm gonna start wearing these jeans inside out, and then I'm gonna figure out where or how much exactly I want to take out. I think I'm gonna take about maybe half an inch on each side. I think that's a really good amount, especially given that these are high waist and I want them to sit comfortably at my waist. So for me, that's a good amount. I personally am not going to put a pin or anything to indicate that. I'm just gonna ballpark it, but if you need so, you can apply a pin. And also, like, just check out how your butt's looking when you do take it in, because that's also really important. So this is the finished product. It looks really good in my opinion. I applied quick darts on the sides, you can even tell, and they are sitting so comfortably up at my waist. Like, I am actually so shook that it turned out like this. It makes my butt look good, and it's snug. They were able to fit, so that's always good. And yeah, I'm really happy. Just how I get it down. I'll have you moving crazy. I'll have you moving right. So this sweater I got from J. Crew a while ago, and as you guys can see, it is clearly too big. So what I'm going to do is I am going to crop it. So the only thing is with sweaters, you can't just cut across it and call it a day and consider it a crop sweater. You have to be careful because it is a knit piece. So what I'm going to do is I am going to figure out how short I want it, and then I am going to sew across it and use the hem that is already on the sweater to finish the hemline, if that makes sense. So to start off, lay your sweater flat and figure out how short you want it to be. I would suggest that you try it on and then figure out your length and then put a little pin to indicate where you want to crop it. It's just easier that way. Here I'm just ballparking because I kind of have a sense already. I tried it on way too many times, but I would highly recommend it. So your hem is going to be that bottom line that you see. You're going to want to bring it all the way up to the length that you want it cropped at. So for example, here I want it cropped up to there, so I'm going to bring my hem just about there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew directly underneath the hemline. So when you flip it over, you're keeping the hemline, and it creates that faux hem effect. So once you have everything lined up, you are ready to take it to the sewing machine. You don't have to use a sewing machine. I just do because it's easier, but you can definitely hand sew it as well. So you're going to want to sew directly underneath the hem. And I'm just going to be really careful here and make sure it's really straight because I don't want to mess it up. Just be as close to the hem as possible because that will really help you when you flip the sweater over.
I'll have you moving wild. You'll be acting oopsie daisy.
So this is what your sweater should look like once you are done sewing underneath the hemline, and then you're just going to flip it inside out. So this is the part where you're actually flipping it inside out. So once you are done flipping it, you're just going to want to cut off the excess fabric as I am doing here because you don't need that, you don't need any of that. So cut it all out and then you're going to flip your sweater back out. And here we are. Once you flip your sweater back out and you wear it, your sweater is actually going to look like a nice cropped sweater that you got from, I don't know, Urban or something. So basically, having sewn right underneath the hem and then flipping it inside out to cut the extra fabric off, let the old hem remain, but then create a fake hemline, if that makes sense. If you guys don't understand it, you can definitely watch it again. I know it was confusing for me at first, but it is actually a very, very simple technique.
Don't act like you ain't down.
Okay, so this shirt is actually a disaster. I picked up this blouse randomly without even trying it on, and when I finally tried it on, I was like, what the heck is this? Like, it fits me so poorly, it's all over the place, but we're gonna alter it and it's gonna be fine. So my vision for this blouse is to have the sleeves, first of all, be a nice quarter length. I am not feeling the full length sleeves at all. And then for the size of it to be more cropped, so I'm thinking that I could do the same hem technique that I did with the sweater and, you know, kind of crop this blouse a little because it has this beautiful like frilly hem. So I feel as if I can easily take that in and bring this blouse to a more appropriate and stylish height. So to crop this blouse, I'm literally going to use the same technique that I used to crop my sweater earlier, which is the hemming technique. I will pull the hem up to the size that I want it to be cropped at, and then I will sew right underneath the hemline. So for this blouse, I literally just had to fold it over and then stitch. It was not hard, but as you guys can see, yeah, it's literally just a straight line across, and when you flip it over, you're going to have yourself a nice cropped looking hem. For the sleeves, I'm going to do the exact same thing where I'm going to fold it up to the height that I want it, and I'm going to start sewing underneath the hemline. And I feel as if you guys get the gist at this point, but it's super easy. For this one, I'm also going to hand stitch for more control, and then once I'm done, I'm just going to cut off the excess fabric and then I'm going to flip it over. And here is the final product. I am so freaking proud of how this turned out. Like, this is such a freaking transformation. I'm really happy with the length and how it looks. I do think the sleeves could be a little better, but honestly I feel as if it's really not that noticeable. I just didn't want them to be super tight, so I kind of like left a little breathing room there. But yeah, this looks like a really stylish blouse now instead of the baggy thing that I was when I first got it. This blouse, oh my god, whenever I look at it, I seriously think, what were you thinking? It is just such an awkward length on me. It is way too low cut. Like, I can literally not wear this anywhere, but it's okay because we are going to fix it. So what I'm going to first adjust is the neckline because it is way too low cut, but I cannot do it at the end because it is twist front, so I'm going to have to take in the shoulders. And then for the length situation, what we're gonna do is we're just going to crop it a little bit. So with the shape of this blouse, I am actually kind of lucky because it gives me a lot of opportunity to crop it. So as you guys can see underneath like the boob part, there's a little elastic band. I don't know if you guys can tell, but when I fold it over all the way up to the elastic band, it brings it to a really good and flattering height that I actually really want. So I can just flip it inside out and then sew it across that line instead of having like a real hemline, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start off by flipping the blouse inside out and then bringing the bottom of the blouse up to where the bodice hemline is. So to prevent the stitches from showing once I flip the blouse back over, I'm actually going to sew the bottom part to the inside stitch, which is basically the stitches you see when you flip your shirt inside out, as I have mine right now. So sewing along the inside stitch for me is personally less pressure since I don't have to worry about my stitches showing up uneven once I flip the blouse back. I'm also hand stitching for more control, but obviously you can use a sewing machine if you want, but I'm just going to hand stitch it all around. So here's a close-up of what your blouse should be looking like once you are sewing it more around the hemline. As you can see, I'm creating some waves just to kind of give it more of a nice little texture. So this is what your blouse should look like once you are done finishing the bottom. And now we are going to focus on taking in the shoulder so that the neckline isn't so freaking low. So taking in the shoulder shouldn't be super hard. It's basically just taking a few centimeters on each side. So in my case, I'm actually going to take half an inch on each side. And I'm basically kind of determining that right now as I go. You can probably try it on and then ballpark or put a little pin to where you want it to be, but I like to ballpark. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hand stitch it just for more control. You can obviously use a sewing machine if you want, but it's really simple. All you got to do is just create some little stitches on each side. So this is my finished product and I am so freaking proud of this one. I think this might just be my favorite alteration because oh my god, it is so flattering. Like the neckline is just the perfect length now and the crop is so nice. It actually looks so much more trendier than what it was when I bought it. So really proud of it, and I think, you know, that's why you should just like kind of alter your clothes because sometimes not everything is gonna fit you, so why toss out a perfectly good style when you can just make a few minor tweaks yourself.
Oh, give me that feeling.
So last but not least, we have this beautiful polka dot blouse, which I love so much, but the only issue is that the sleeves freaking keep falling. Like they just would not stay. So the solution for this is going to be taking in a little from the back. It's kind of similar to what we did with the red blouse earlier where we're taking in the shoulders, but this time we're not going to be taking in the shoulder per se, but we're just going to attach the sleeve part a little more closer to the tube top part. Like if you look closely, this blouse is basically a tube top with two sleeves attached, so we can definitely work with this. So here's the blouse laying flat and inside out. What I'm basically going to do here is take the end of the sleeve, fold it a tiny bit, maybe about a centimeter or so, and then sew it onto the tube top part of the blouse. What this is going to do is basically tighten the sleeves so that they will sit more securely on your shoulders rather than falling constantly. And here is the end result. As you guys can see, these sleeves are super secure on my shoulders now. I can literally do whatever and they will not fall off, which is amazing because that was literally the whole point of this alteration. So that is all the alterations I have for you guys today. I really hope you guys found this helpful and enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did, and make sure you guys subscribe down below and show your support. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Could you tell me what's the